need to bring masculinity back. So I was thinking about, I've been actually thinking about this concept for a little while, but just the idea of like, because we see it all the time nowadays, right? Where we got all these women acting really masculine, right? Is kind of the idea. Um, and first of all, I want to say that I think to lump all women and all men into specific categories is a little bit ham-fisted. I think there are just some women who tend to exhibit more masculine traits, and there are some men who just tend to exhibit more feminine traits. That's kind of a personality thing. So when I say we need to bring masculinity back, and when I say we need to be masculine men, this is very much like a generalization, but I think it's true. So here's what I'm talking about is there is, I think, undeniably this kind of push towards like women exhibiting more masculine traits. Like this is becoming more and more common, I feel like, and again, whether or not, I mean, I'm not saying this is 100% a bad thing, but the fact is like nowadays we have a lot of women who are really pursuing a career, which is great. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think in the dating scene specifically, they start to throw out like these qualifications, like that makes them more of a desirable partner. And the thing is, for men, like, we just don't really care as much about that. Like, we don't care about your professional accolades. We care more about, the person and like your traits of like nurturing, etc. Like if you exhibit like these feminine motherly traits, a lot of those are very attractive, right? A lot of guys don't really care that you are, a middle manager at a Fortune 500 company. Like a lot of guys don't care about that. But there's this kind of confusion, I think, in the dating world where women almost it seems like a lot of women kind of think that they have to exhibit these masculine traits to attract a man, right? And then obviously you have the men who are like, well, I don't want that. I don't want a woman who's exhibiting masculine traits. And so we have this really weird, like, I mean, there's so many, I mean, modern dating sucks. It's just like a truism at this point. But I really think that there's a deep-seated issue that starts with men. I think that it starts with us because something that I kind of have been thinking about is the fact that feminine energy, like femininity, is, I think, much more adaptive than masculine energy. And it's also more dependent on masculinity, right? So what I mean by that is, like, I'll give you an example. So women, when they feel safe and they feel like cared for and protected, they will act a certain way. They almost exhibit like childlike innocence and just kind of carefree nature. And a lot of the time, I mean, I'll tell you from personal experience, my fiance, she she has openly admitted to me, like, when I'm not around, she's very like alert and like very conscious of her surroundings, and when she's with me, she literally, I mean, she'll trip over cracks in the concrete all the time if I don't point them out to her. So when there is a masculine presence and she feels protected and cared for, the feminine energy comes out. And I'm not saying that the feminine energy is clumsy or anything, but just I'm using that as an example that she feels completely like she lets her guard down, and she just is not really, she doesn't really care as much about like being super alert, because she knows that I'm going to do it, right? And that's kind of a microcosm for the feminine energy as a whole. Tends to be, it only comes out when it's being protected by masculinity, basically, right? Like a feminine, like, because think about the traditional feminine traits are like, soft, nurturing, caring, very like just the word feminine kind of evokes just a very like, not frail is a negative word, but you know what I mean, just like kind of one of those, like, just a very like I don't know, very soft and lilting in a way. Like it just evokes like masculine is like, you know, a sturdy tower, and the feminine is very much like more, you know, drifty. I don't know. I'm struggling to find the correct word, but it evokes very like much a softness. Um and the thing is, it just that doesn't survive when there's no masculinity present, right? You can't have femininity just existing by itself. Masculinity can exist by itself, right? Masculinity can, I mean, you know, I mean, that's why a lot of, you know, just out in the world, you have to exhibit certain masculine traits because the world isn't always a friendly place. And so exhibiting these traits of just, you know, stoicism and steadfastness and a certain hard quality is kind of necessary, right? But femininity doesn't really exist just in a vacuum. Femininity cannot really exist without masculinity present. And here's where I'm going with this. I think the reason why women are tending toward exhibiting more masculine traits now is because men are exhibiting more feminine traits, right? We have men now who are becoming less and less manly. And as a result of this, women are now forced to adopt manly qualities because, again, femininity does not exist without the masculine. It has to, like, because women are very, I think women are more adaptable than men in a lot of ways. They're able to make do, right? If there's no masculine energy present, they will simply adopt a more masculine energy to get what they need to get, right? And so they're adapting, but obviously a lot of guys don't really care for this because we're not overall really still attracted to masculine energy. Even when you have a man who is more acting feminine and has more feminine qualities, there's no attraction to masculine qualities, right? You're attracted to the feminine qualities, but you're not embodying masculine qualities. And so I think that the modern dating problem really does come from men. I think that men are becoming softer and more feminine overall, and it is causing women to respond by becoming more masculine, right? Because they have to. They can't be feminine in a vacuum, right? If everybody's feminine, I mean, I guess technically, you know, there's maybe this utopian idea that, oh, if everybody's soft and everybody's nice and everybody loves each other, then you don't need the masculine. I guess, maybe, whatever. But the fact is, the world is not a perfect place. You need the masculine in order to survive in the world. And insofar as the world requires a certain level of masculinity to stand up to it, femininity will not exist without the masculine. And so we as men need to step up to become more manly so that women can feel free to let their guards down and allow the feminine to blossom, right? And yeah, so that's about it. I've been thinking about that for a little while, and but yeah, let me know your thoughts about this for sure. I think that that is like one of the problems with modern dating right now is, you know, because I feel, and the reason I say it's a problem is I did caveat, like sometimes, you know, you got a guy who's more feminine is attracted to more of the masculine energy, and you got a woman who's more masculine attracted to the more feminine energy, and they can mesh and whatever. Like if it works and it works, then it works, right? I always say if it works, right? But the problem right now is it doesn't work, right? It's not working for the majority of people, right? We have a male loneliness epidemic going on. And I think that that is part of the problem, is the fact that women are not attracted to the current males, right? I mean, to be fair, this has something to do with a little bit of like the, you know, I mean, we've all seen the videos, I'm sure, of the women who are saying like, oh yeah, you know, I want him to make at least, you know, $300,000. And it's like, okay, that's like hardly anybody in the world makes $300,000 a year. So there is a certain, like, some women are just a little bit delusional about what they are looking for in a man. But the fact is, most women aren't looking for a guy making $300,000. Most women are just looking for a masculine man. And the fact is, we have a shortage of that right now. We have a shortage of that right now. And so if this video struck a nerve, I would encourage you really to, before you go crazy in the comments calling me insensitive or something like that, just do a little bit of introspection and just think about, are you exhibiting the traits that you need to be exhibiting, right? As a man, are you exhibiting masculine traits or not? I would really encourage you to think about that. And I just ask yourself, like, okay, if you're single, if you're looking for a girlfriend as a man and you're just not having any luck, I would encourage you to just think about, why is that? Like, why might that be? Are you truly exhibiting the masculine traits that are attractive? Maybe, maybe not, right? I don't know. But I would just encourage some introspection there. So that's my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, if you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.